The Pope has this morning released an important new document on the environment and climate change. And he levels a lot of criticism at what he calls an inadequate response to the global climate change crisis. Megan Williams is live from the Vatican with us this morning. Megan, we were speaking yesterday on the issue of same-sex unions, and you were pointing our attention to today and this huge gathering and the church's most important issues on the table. Climate change is the one that we're talking about this morning. Tell us what the Pope has now said.
That's absolutely right, Heather. Climate change is on the agenda of this big meeting coming up. And perhaps no surprise that the Pope decided to release, in a sense, part two to his really important paper that he released 8 years ago on the environment. That was called Laudato Si. This is called Laudato Deum, thanks to God. And 8 years later, it's shorter, more urgent, more pointed. And the Pope is essentially saying that world leaders are failing to deal with the climate crisis, that things have gotten worse, that the world as we know it is near collapse, and that leaders have to get serious about it. What's interesting in this paper, too, is that he takes aim at Catholics and others who have been climate deniers or argument against transitioning the economy away from fossil fuels to alternative energy. And, among those naysayers, after the last paper he released 8 years ago, were conservative Catholic bishops as well. So the Pope is coming back. And I spoke with Cardinal Cherney, Canadian Cardinal Michael Cherney, who was one of the authors likely of this paper. He contributed to it. And he said, yes, that it's very important to go after the world leaders who he said have essentially failed in their task to move the world off fossil fuels.
So the timing of this writing, of course, not coincidental. This huge gathering is getting underway at the Vatican, and it's so interesting. Maybe you'll talk about some of the historic nature of this, because it's not just bishops, but it's lay people and it's women, which is really extraordinary. And they're talking about the most sensitive issues for the church at this time. Lay out what's going to be happening at this meeting, Megan.
That's right. I mean, this is a huge global summit on the future of the Catholic Church. And one of the issues that people have been protesting over this past week is the ordination of women. The inclusion of female voices and female leadership, women becoming deacons, possibility of becoming priests is one of the items on the agenda, along with climate change and along with, as we spoke yesterday, LGBTQ inclusion, welcoming into the Catholic Church.
Megan, thank you. Much coverage to come, and we'll look forward to your reporting from there in the Vatican. Megan Williams live for us this morning.